Real muddy back here, and I hope I don't slip and fall, which I won't. I don't even know why I said that. Let's take a venture down this way. They recently paved this area with some wood chips. You don't know where you're going trail, but this works too. This works. So as I was saying, my daughter had to fill out, it was like a how are you feeling survey, which I've never seen at a doctor's office. They said it was new, and I was a little hesitant to have her fill it out, but I was like, you know what, this will be interesting to see how she feels about certain things to go out throughout the day. And one of the questions was, how often do you feel frustrated, irritated, anxious, depressed? They put all of that in one line, and she put every day. And I asked her about it. She's like, yeah, I feel irritated every day. And I'm like, oh, all right, well, circle irritated. So I don't think you're like clinically depressed or something. But on our way back, we got a chance to actually talk about it. And I asked her, so what happens during the day that has you feeling frustrated? And she mentioned to me, she's like, everything. And I was like, okay, how do you feel when you're frustrated? She's like, I don't know. I was like, all right. Being I am who I am, I said, let's talk about this and give me detailed information, because frustration, well, just let me know how you feel. She's like, okay, sometimes I feel frustrated when something is not going the way I intended. And I was like, that's exactly what frustration is. And that is something that we can actually tackle and take care of. So she gave me an example. She's like, when it's quiet and I'm just sitting there thinking and a bunch of noise happens, that irritates me. And I was like, what do you feel when you get irritated? She's like it shouldn't be happening. And I was like, you're just nailing everything that I want to teach you right now. I didn't say this out loud, but I had a big smile on my face as I was driving. And so I was like, okay, so check this out. What if I told you that every emotion, every feeling that pops up, our mind creates that feeling in order to get us to do something? For instance, if you're hungry, you get a sensation of hunger, your stomach starts rumbling, your mouth starts salivating, you're like, I could eat something. That is your mind getting you to do something. So what do you think your mind is doing when it surfaces irritation and anger during random times of the day? And of course she said I didn't know, but I wasn't expecting an answer because I wanted to give the answer. And the answer is your mind has expectations, and when those expectations aren't met, frustration is surface, and that's why you feel frustrated, because something is happening outside of your control that your mind wants you to do something about. So I said, simply do this. Next time you feel a hint of frustration, or you feel a little bit of anger, ask yourself this question. Why am I irritated? Once you find the source of that irritation, can I do something about it right now? And if yes, do it. If no, tell your mind that, hey, I know this is happening. I don't have any control over this. Thank you for the alarm, but I don't need it right now. And it's a challenge because sometimes we get frustrated and we don't even realize we're frustrated. Or sometimes we get irritated and we don't even realize we're irritated. So it's going to take some practice of recognizing what you're feeling at what time, as well as asking yourself these questions during random times of the day. And I want to say, to my surprise, but I'm not that surprised, but I was very grateful and humble. She heard me, she took what I said to heart, and then she started regurgitating back some examples. So I left her with this. I was like, anytime you feel frustrated, anytime you feel irritated about something and you don't know how to deal with it, come ask me. I'm an expert at figuring out how to deal with irritations or frustrations, and we'll tackle it then and there. And she's not much of a smiler unless she's like in a happy state. But as I looked in the rearview mirror, I saw her smiling a little bit, and that warmed my heart. That's why I do what I do. That's why I chose to help content creators, help moms, help dads, help anyone that has feelings that they don't want anymore, or feel a sense of frustration when they're trying to do something that they enjoy. All those things are your mind trying to get you to do something. And if you're not aware of that, those frustrations continue. Oh, check this out. This is my favorite part of this walk, this little bridge. It is, I wish I would have made it myself, but it's cool. Kind of leads down there. It would be cool if there was a river there, but there is, you can't really see it through the trees. There is a body of water over that way, but we're not going that way. The rest of this hike has me going up the hill, but I don't feel like doing hills right now. So also this is right in their backyard. I wonder how many people come out here and just stand on this bridge, or am I the first? Am I the first one to do it? All right, now the sun's behind us. And unfortunately, this part of the footage is probably gonna look crazy, but it is what it is. I'm getting this video up because that's what I do. So I said all that to say this. If there is a feeling in your life that you know doesn't serve you, that you'd rather do without, stop hesitating, book a session with me. Book a session with somebody, but when you book a session with me, we don't need your entire back history or your childhood or how your mom treated you. I attribute it to my love of technology and me working in IT for over 20 years, that our minds are very similar to a computer system. The more things that are running in the background, the slower the computer goes, the less energy it has to do the tasks that it needs to do. So while you might be trying to watch something on Netflix, there's like 15 tabs running in the background trying to accomplish something else that you're not even aware of. That's exactly how our unconscious mind works. Our unconscious mind is the background of the computer running all these processes, keeping things running, and our conscious mind is how you interact with the computer, how you interact with your world, how you interact with your brain. Once I understood this and mastered it for myself, I definitely was like, okay, time to help others. It's time to get other people out of these funks that they are in, out of these negative mindsets that keeps them locked into these identities that they no longer identify with, for lack of a better word. Because at the end of the day, I want this transition to be smooth, painless, and beneficial. I think the reason why in college I had a minor in psychology and I ended up dropping it is because I noticed that most therapists are there to hear your feelings. They want you to feel the feeling. I don't want you to feel the feeling. I want you to put the feeling in check. I want you to update your data that your unconscious mind is using to elicit these feelings and make it realize that, hey, in this present moment, nothing is happening. I don't need the alarm bells going off. I'm sitting in my room, I'm sitting in class, I'm sitting at work, and nothing is happening. Please stop. We as humans have that capability to put our unconscious mind in check. And I have the tools and the learning and the processes to get you through that. It doesn't matter what it is. If there's something that you're feeling in a moment of peace, in a moment where nothing is physically trying to harm you or nothing is physically trying to get in your way, then those feelings are useless in those moments. Don't quote me on this, but I feel like we're one of the only species on the planet that have the ability to reminisce, to pull up past experiences and have feeling towards them. While it's an amazing feature as a human, half the time it's useless. Half the time it's used incorrectly. Again, our unconscious mind has two jobs: to help us thrive or to help us survive. One or two. So if there's something that pops up in your life that is attributing to either of those, that according to your unconscious mind, then it's going to spark up emotions to help you deal with that. Anger, and I will say this, I've said this a million times, I believe anger is a useless emotion. For some reason, and I blame movies on this, people think you need to be angry to fight hard. You need to be angry to push hard in sports. You need to be angry to facilitate a change. Or you need to be angry and upset at someone who did you wrong, because if you don't, that means you don't care. That's a bunch of bullshit. If somebody smashed my car with a hammer, anger is not the first emotion that's going to pop up, because once you get angry, you lose access to creative tools, and creative tools is how you make amazing decisions, how you make the best decisions. When you're angry, you cut off reason, you cut off logic. You're in flight or fight mode, and being in fight or flight mode is not the best. It's not the best situation to be in when you're trying to make concrete, amazing decisions. So if you're in the process of making content and you're angry, there's part of your creative brain that's been shut off. Or when you think about creating content, you get anxious. Again, there's part of your creative brain that's been shut off. One quick tip that you can do to overcome that anger, overcome that anxiety, is breathe. Breathing is a tool to the brain that lets the brain know that, hey, I'm in a calm state. I'm safe. When you're breathing deeply, you can't breathe deeply and run. You're like hyperventilating when you're running. But when you're sitting there calmly, measured breath, deep breath in, deep breath out, there's a calm that comes over your body. It's like a cheat code, and not many people know about it, but I'm here to tell you that shit works. Then once you do that, once you get your body in a calm state, then you can think smarter. Then you can think with your creative brain. And with that brain comes a lot of amazing tools and opportunities that you'd be missing out if you were always anxious or always angry or always depressed. I think I mentioned this in another video that I need to be out here more. You can hear I'm out of breath. Shout out to all you walk and talk vloggers who do this with no huffing and puffing. I'm gonna be there one day, just not today. That was it. We got a nice brisk 20-25 minute walk in. I'm gonna go upstairs, throw this content on my computer, edit it, get it ready for Friday. Other than that, I appreciate y'all for watching. If you haven't already followed the channel, go ahead and do so. Every week we upload something. No matter how I feel, I'm uploading something. Even if it's just a video to say, man, I feel like shit today. Here's a video. See y'all next week. I'm still gonna do it because that's the commitment that I made to myself. That's the commitment I made to my audience. And that's the commitment that we're going to honor. I'm very interested. Drop a comment below and let me know what feeling comes up that has stopped you from creating content. I'll go ahead and reply to your comment and let you know what your unconscious mind is thinking and a few steps to actually clear that on your own. Or you can book a session with me. I specialize in getting rid of bad feelings, bad emotions, things that keep you from creating content. And then you can move forward clear as your authentic self. All right, we're home. Thank you for listening to me. I'm gonna go lay down for a little bit. But other than that, as always, protect your mental, keep creating content, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.